Fantasy Realm Tower Defense, also known as Fantasy Realm TD, is a classic-style mobile tower defense game that attempts to challenge players with deep upgrade mechanics and high replay value, set against a familiar high fantasy backdrop. At its core, Fantasy Realm follows the traditional tower defense formula. Enemies, monsters, critters, and fantasy creatures follow a fixed path toward your castle, and you must strategically place defensive towers along that path to destroy them before they breach your defenses. One of the game's standout features is its extensive upgrade system, boasting a large number of unique tower modifiers and evolution paths, reportedly up to 54. Towers can be evolved to grant unique effects like disintegration, ice freezing, slowing, or piercing damage, forcing players to find synergy and tailor their defense to specific enemy waves. The game is deliberately difficult, requiring meticulous planning and tower placement to succeed. The developers promise high replay value, suggesting that the same level will remain engaging even after multiple attempts, because success relies heavily on strategic choice. The game embraces a standard fantasy aesthetic, with castles, magical defenses, and hordes of fantasy monsters, providing a familiar and appealing visual style for fans of the genre. For players who appreciate a hardcore tower defense experience, the demanding difficulty and focus on smart planning are a welcome feature. It truly tests your ability to adapt your strategy. The sheer variety of tower upgrades and modification paths is impressive. This system encourages experimentation and allows for diverse defensive strategies, moving beyond simple numerical upgrades. While polished, the Fantasy Realm theme is standard and doesn't offer much to differentiate it visually or narratively from other tower defense titles on the market. Sometimes the dialogue and narrative elements contain numerous grammatical errors, which can detract from the immersion and overall polish. The game hits a severe paywall very early on, sometimes within the first hour, where progression becomes extremely difficult without relying heavily on daily rewards or spending real money to acquire necessary resources or upgrades. This shifts the focus from a purely strategic challenge to a patience-testing resource grind. Despite the deep upgrades, the core gameplay loop remains highly typical of the tower defense genre, which may not offer enough novelty for veteran players seeking a truly unique experience. Fantasy Realm is a strategically rich and genuinely challenging mobile tower defense game that successfully captures the old-school difficulty of the genre. The deep, customizable tower upgrade system is its biggest strength, rewarding clever players who can find the best combinations to crush their enemies. However, its fun is regrettably cut short by aggressive monetization practices that gate progress and its heavy reliance on a generic fantasy setting. It's a game for the true tower defense enthusiast who doesn't mind grinding or paying to overcome an intentionally placed early difficulty spike. Rating: 7.